Welcome to the Bulletin. My name's Francis Leach. It's been a huge couple of weeks for the union movement, for Australian workers off the back of the Jobs and Skills Summit, so we thought we'd invite the Secretary of the Australian Council of Trade Unions, Sally McManus, in to have a chat with us. How are you, Sally?
Good, Francis. Good to be here.
It's been a pretty intense time, but a worthwhile experience in terms of having those conversations across all sectors and trying to come up with solutions to grow wages and once again reignite strong jobs that are secure and people can build lives around.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a big change for the country. I mean, the new government is bringing everyone together, and that was not the case under the previous government for the 8 years, 8 months and 25 days that they were in power. Except for this brief period of time under the previous government, they did bring everyone together, and that was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think that's when we saw the very best of Australia, when people were working together and that they, for a brief period, did listen to all voices. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, when you listen to everyone, in particular the voices of the workers who are on the front line of things, you're going to get better results. And that's when we got JobKeeper, which they ended up then saying was their major achievement, was the idea of the trade union movement. But then all of that shut down, right? So this was a, refreshing, constructive, big step forward for the country to have workers in the room with the business leaders of the country, as well as advocates from young people, people with disabilities, First Nations representatives, and people from a whole range of backgrounds all in one room and discussing the big issues.
You were leading from the front on a whole range of issues and also talking to, as you said, those other peak bodies. One of the things that kept coming up and you were really strong on was that the need to change the bargaining system. So firstly, explain to people what that is and why it's so important that we fix it.
Yeah, the number one issue for everyone at the moment is the fact that our wages are not moving. In fact, they're going backwards really badly at the moment, 3.5% in real terms. But this isn't like this just happened yesterday. For a whole decade, our wages have not been moving at all. So that's a really big problem, and it's a really big problem because our country is actually doing well. So we kept growing the wealth of the country, but what happens is more and more of that wealth is going to the owners of corporations rather than to the working people of the country. And so that's the biggest issue that we're all facing, everyone's facing, and of course not being able to pay the bills at the moment. And so the really good thing is there's recognition that that's got to be fixed, and the way to fix that is making sure that workers have enough bargaining power to be able to win pay rises. It's actually that simple. And the fact that bargains with employers have been declining dramatically over a period of time. And so obviously, if you're not able to bargain with employers, then you're not going to get pay rises. These two things are connected. And so the big changes that are needed in our country is more collective bargaining and making it fairer for workers.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, just yesterday or just late last week, we had numbers that show that in terms of gross domestic product, GDP, workers are getting the lowest share of GDP in recorded Australian history. I mean, it's a situation where profits are booming, but we are flatlining when it comes to sharing that wealth with workers.
It's actually really shameful. It's really shameful that we have a rich country and some people are doing very, very well, and the majority of people, and the big majority of people, are going backwards at the moment at a rate of knots, and that this is avoidable. It should not be happening. It's all because basically parts of Australia have got stronger and stronger and stronger, and they've used that power to keep the wages of everyone else down. So that's the issue we've got to address.
One of the other issues that came out really strongly was the issue of productivity, and it was quite clear from yourself and Michelle O'Neill, the president of the ACTU, that one of those elements that we simply haven't addressed is freeing up women to get back into the workforce and participate fully, and utilising the enormous talent and pool of workers there who are structurally locked out of participating, whether it's because of the cost of childcare or the structure of the way that their lives are working at home. This is something that just has to change, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, check it out. Like, we've now got more women graduating from university than men, and we have for a little while now. We've got virtual equality in terms of educational outcomes. But then what we're doing is we've still got a situation where it's mainly women who are taking time out to look after children, and not just for the first year, but long after that. And that is because it's so expensive for childcare. And if you do what a whole lot of other advanced countries have done and made childcare affordable, free, we want it to be, well then, surprise, surprise, you've got all these skilled, experienced, capable people who can all of a sudden be working and contributing to our economy, our society. And so it's a obvious and a simple way of addressing a whole lot of issues, productivity as well as skill shortages.
Yeah, because one of the things about it is that it's seen as an upfront cost to do it, but the multiplier effect in terms of what freeing up women to fully participate in the economy is a huge growth factor in terms of the amount of money flowing through the economy, productivity, and we actually become a richer country as a consequence.
That's right, and the employers say, well, we can't have pay rises because we haven't had productivity go up. Well, actually, we have had productivity go up. We just haven't seen wages go up. And then we say, well, okay, let's do some more things on productivity. Let's have affordable childcare, and let's have better skills and investment into skills. These are the two really big things that will make a difference for productivity, because let's face it, they've squeezed workers and there's nothing more to get out of us. Those two things it will make a huge difference. Okay, government's coming to the table with that. We need them also to come to the table on the issue of wages.
Jobs and skills, so crucial. The TAFE sector has been run into the ground over the last 10 years. And I spoke with quite a number of people from the TAFE sector in the last week or so who have got a lot of hope that that's about to change, but it is so important, isn't it, for there to be a dynamic change in the TAFE and education sector so that workers can get the skills they need and not have to pay through their nose to do it, and also to provide that skilled workforce here in Australia for the challenges of a new economy.
Yeah, that's one of the most exciting things out of the Job Summit. Everyone agreeing that TAFE must be rebuilt, and the new government saying, yep, and we're up for it, and we're going to put money behind making that happen. That's great, like after so long of having TAFE trashed. And of course now we go, oh, well, where are the young people with the skills? We don't have any. Well, guess why? Because we trashed TAFE, and now realising even the employers, doesn't matter what stripe they are, saying, no, we've got to fix this, is a big step forward.
So some exciting developments, but still, Sally, a lot of work to do to make sure that these things flow through.
Yeah, totally. Heaps of work to do. I mean, and we feel as though there's not a day to waste. The fact that every single day people are struggling with their bills and their wages are going backwards is not an acceptable situation for us and for the country. And so we're going to do everything we can to get in laws that rebalance that.
And you can join in as well by going to australianunions.org.au. The best way to be involved is to become a union member and be part of our journey to making it a fairer and better country for everyone. Sally McManus, thank you so much for being with us on The Bulletin.
No worries, Francis. Always awesome to chat.
Catch you on the next episode.